Welcome to Meet Me at the Deli, a food advice podcast where the pickles and slaw are always free. I'm Liz.
And I'm Jeffrey. Every episode, we're answering your burning food and culinary questions, and we're sharing our stories and insights from years working in the industry and living in our self-made shtetl.
Jeffrey, how are you?
Liz, I'm good. I'm doing well. How you doing?
All right. What's going on?
Okay, so I had an experience. So we have a guest today, owner or founder of Edith's.
Elyssa Heller. So excited.
And so I went to Edith's. I was inspired. I came off of a train at Moynihan Hall. I went down to the village, and I went to Edith's. And I had this experience that I wanted to tell you about because it reminded me of something that happened years ago that I thought you'd appreciate.
Do tell.
I go, and it was Saturday midday. So this is the moment. Busy.
People are out.
Yeah.
Weekend.
So I'm waiting outside, and I ask a question or two, of the people working there, and there was a woman who was already waiting outside, and she said, "I'm just going to follow your lead." Like, she's basically made it clear she was not really sure what to do, but she's going to follow my lead.
Yeah.
And I talked with her a little bit, and she was visiting from the Bay Area, and we got into the waiting area, the vestibule, before we got into the shop while we were waiting, because again, it was a really popular day there, and she was looking at the menu, and I said, "What are you going to get?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I said, "How did you find out about this place?" She said, "I found it on Yelp." And she was completely brand new.
That's great.
So I kind of talk her through, okay, well, this is what they're known for. They're known for their coffee slushies, and I mentioned the tatkas, the latka,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about some of the sandwiches, and she basically was saying, "Tell me what to order."
Yeah.
And so
she needed you.
and she was very overwhelmed just because it was she's from the Bay Area, but it was really exciting because I loved guiding her through this process. And, I ordered and I waited for her. I kind of watched her order. It was a kind of the support experience. It reminded me of this moment that when we first connected working together back in 2011, when I was sitting at this counter at 2nd Avenue Deli and I was eating a sandwich. And I don't know if you remember this story or not, but I was listening behind me to these men from, I think it was Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, I do. I remember. I know where you're going with this story. I remember this.
These businessmen were holding menus, they were clearly confused, and they were looking
lost
at what to order at the 2nd Avenue Deli, and I think they were thinking, the turkey club, and they kept mentioning all the things you do not get at a deli. Right. It's just that is just a bad order. And it was all the things, I forgot, I don't even remember some of the things, things I'd never even seen on the backside of that menu.
Yeah.
And I interrupt and I say, "Excuse me, you should get the pastrami and a matzo ball soup." I mentioned the celery, and they go and they say, "Thank you." They go to sit down, and then a couple minutes later, I get a tap on my shoulder, and they say, "Excuse me, do you mind coming and sitting with us and ordering for us? We'll cover your meal and just guide us through this experience."
Amazing.
And so I ended up sitting and regaling these businessmen from Tennessee who came because their hotel concierge had told them to go. And I ordered them. I got them chopped liver and kosher varnishkas. I got them the mushroom, the egg barley and mushroom. And I kind of got them all these things. I made them try gefilte fish, and I gave them the history, the context. And it was so amazing that when we first sort of connected at the food world, I kind of said, is there a way to guide people through eating experiences? And so I love that yesterday I got to do that again.
It's so great. And I will say, Jeffrey, we have guided people at the Jewish Deli many times since then. So those guys gave you a gift of an idea because it's something that we've done. People come in, we've taken deli tours, we've brought groups of people from California, college students, high school students, groups of professionals. I would say when anybody visits us from out of the country, we always have them meet us at 2nd Avenue Deli. And we order. We don't let them order. That's what we do.
It's true.
I want to say I'm very excited to bring on Elyssa in a couple minutes to help us with a couple questions. But you just made me think of something when you were talking about how it was a sunny day. And it's like we're like getting into the spring here in New York where it's those days and people are sitting outside, after this very long winter, this sort of brutal winter that we've had. And I wanted to ask you, I sometimes when I see everybody sitting outside and it's a beautiful day, I become a little bit of a Grinch. I'm like, oh, look at all these people like outside with nothing to do. Like they're so happy. Like, I don't know. I have like a negative reaction to that. And I wondered if you were the same or
Why?
I don't know.
It's literally just like the most beautiful thing.
I don't know. No, I can, there's other people in the studio who are nodding their heads in alignment with me. So I assumed, Jeffrey, after knowing you all these years, that you actually were going to be like, I totally know what you mean, Liz. Like when the weather gets nice and people start looking all cute and they're drinking coffee outside or wine in the middle of the day, like I too become a Grinch and tell everybody to get to work. But I guess you don't do that. So now I have to reroute my sense of who I think you are. But yeah, it doesn't mean I too sat outside yesterday in a beautiful day and drank a Bloody Mary. So I did that and I enjoyed it.
Were self-loathing with it?
No, it's like when I'm doing it, I feel okay. But I think it's just envy. Deep inside, I think it's envy, but like if I'm not doing that, then I'm like, like I can't believe everybody just gets to do that, you know? And so I'm not self-loathing, but there's a grinchiness that comes over me. And I'm not that grinchy. I'm very positive. All right, a little grinchy.
Yeah. I think the nice weather piece of it threw me off, but I've seen people just midday, just like lounging and hanging out. I do walk around and say, does anyone work? Does anyone work? I do have that experience.
No, mine is particularly around those days when it starts to change and it's really beautiful. Okay, all right, we have to stop talking about this because we have questions.
Okay, we should get to this.
Let's get to the questions. So we're so excited to bring on Elyssa Heller from Edith. Edith started as a pop-up back in 2020, and it was so successful, doing amazing sandwiches that there are now 2 brick-and-mortar locations, one in Brooklyn, which is like a sandwich counter, which is the one I more regularly frequent closer to where I live, and then one in Manhattan, the one that you're talking about now that you were at yesterday, a bigger shop. I'd say Edith's is really known for its sandwiches and it's sort of all-day breakfast experience, but I'd say the sandwiches are very unique. So we have a sandwich question today, and we thought it'd be great to bring on Elyssa. So Elyssa, join us, please. Get in here. Thanks for coming.
This is so fun.
Isn't it
Thanks
fun?
for having me. I'm going to put on my gear.
Yeah.
So Elyssa, you might not remember the last time I saw you, but I remember the last time I saw you, and it was a very special day.
No, I remember.
Oh, do you know
what was it?
Jewish Christmas.
Yes.
At Lou's Monton cake.
Uh-huh.
Of course. It's like the best night of the year.
The holiest day of the year.
Yeah, I was invited to go with some friends in New York, and being from Chicago, it was surprising to me that now I'd been in New York for, June will be 15 years for me. And I had still never done the whole, like, go to a Chinese food, like, restaurant on Christmas or Christmas Eve and do the whole, like, New York Jewish Christmas handshake thing. And I did it last year, and it was the best night of my life. And then I did it again this year, and I saw you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
it was
I
fun.
love that that's when y'all last saw each other. So happy. I also noticed, Elyssa, that you're wearing a Riviera Produce sweatshirt.
I just came from work.
Elyssa, you've shared that you smell like fry oil, and
Yes.
I respect that.
I want to smell it.
We're in a booth,
yeah.
and I don't smell it.
I know. I mean, this won't be like, hopefully by the time this airs, like Instagram, TikTok, like won't have a smell feature. So I feel like I'm safe. But
You never know.
Things
You never
are
know.
evolving.
You don't know. Things are changing rapidly. Okay, so you ready for the first question? We hope
Ready.
you'll stick around for more, but this is the question we thought would resonate the most with you. Jewish deli sandwiches are generally so basic. Meat, bread, mustard. Adding extra toppings like lettuce and tomato or other condiments, it's just like it doesn't feel right. It feels gimmicky. Any ideas on how to stay true to the Jewish deli while also adding some innovation? That's a question from Michael in St. Paul. Thanks, Michael. We're answering your question today with Elyssa.
Michael, A+ question.
Good question, right?
It took me 10 years in the food industry to get there, so.
And 10 years to get to the place of questioning like sandwich structure and creation, or what?
To feel like I was comfortable enough putting my own interpretation on Jewish food in sandwiches in a way that felt like I was doing justice to the Jewish deli and not doing something that was like too shticky or like I don't know, or like gimmicky. I feel like there's a lot out there that's like a caricature of Jewish food, and it's like a bubby, or like, I'm like, okay, but like it's a lot more than that. And I think with Jewish food specifically, because there's a religious component, innovation in a way that honors the food, I think is a very fine line that a lot of people can lose. I think at Edith, we do a really good job of not losing that, because when people can ask us about a sandwich on our menu, we can give them the history behind it. And I think like Jewish food is so rooted in history that if you start from understanding the history and the historical significance of the dish, then you can kind of honor it or put a creative twist on it in a way that feels like you're doing justice to the food. And like, yeah, it's your own version of it, but you're not changing its standard of identity.
Yeah. I want to get into this a little bit more, but before we do, maybe it's worth talking about the premise of the question is that these sandwiches are basic and maybe a bit boring. And I'm also curious, maybe why, and do we feel that is actually the case? Like, do you feel let down when you go and get we're around the corner from Katz's and you go and get a pastrami with mustard and rye, is that like, does that hit? Is it missing something? I mean, are you more of a Reuben person? And a Reuben being, right, like you've got your crouch, you got that crunch from the cabbage, you got your Russian dressing, you got your cheese on there. Yeah, I'm like curious where everyone falls in terms of this on the spectrum of deli sandwiches, of the mainstream basic ones.
For me, I will always choose, I will always want a pastrami or a corned beef sandwich or a Reuben in a Jewish deli, but outside of a Jewish deli, I don't, like outside of that particular world and context, I don't want a second-rate pastrami sandwich, right? I don't want a second-rate corned beef sandwich. So for me, those sandwiches are perfect in the perfect atmosphere with the perfect craft. I love to use pastrami in different purposes. I love to like the wrap that Edith has with pastrami. I love, but I don't think of that as a pastrami sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like what you got was a great order. It's our pastrami egg and cheese latke wrap. But like when I think of a pastrami sandwich, I don't think of that. I started Edith's because I grew up with my beloved Barnum and Bagel Deli, which I talk about.
Such a good name.
Oh man, it's so good. I talk about it all the time, how I just wish it would come back to life. My Barnum and Bailey circus-themed Jewish deli, Skokie, Illinois.
Chicago, right? Oh, Skokie, Illinois. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that I had this aversion to the basic deli sandwich because none of them were good. Like, it sounds kind of bad, but like, I don't know, I'll go to some delis today, and maybe it's because they were struggling for so long, or like there's all this history about people who love the Jewish deli, they want to revive it. And I feel like for me, I just never, I don't know, I wanted to incorporate more flavor, less white and brown into Edith's because I never liked what I got. And now that we smoke our own turkey, it takes like a week to do. We make our own pastrami. I'm in New York. But it's the best deli city in the world. And the quality of the food is so good that I feel like I will happily eat a Reuben. And it's just great because the quality of the product is good.
Mm-hmm. So how do we answer Michael? Like how do we stay true to the Jewish deli while adding some innovation?
Yeah, well, I just want to say, I will say, when I have a really good pastrami, and you have one that is super tender, and you bite into it, and it just like melts in your mouth, and you've got that, it's fatty, and you get that really nice spice from the rub, and you have that, and you have like the intensity of that sharp deli mustard, right? And it's got that horseradishy, vibe, right? They're in the same family. It's got that the heat of that. It kind of gets in the back of your throat too. You have that with some really nice rye bread, and you have that with a celery. To me, there is no more perfect sandwich experience, possibly. And yet I know that it's missing crunch. There's no crunch. And crunch is a huge thing. I crunch. I feel like I get the crunch from the pickle, which I am eating in conjunction.
Do you toast the bread?
No, well, so this is the thing. Yeah. This is the most perfect experience of the sandwich. Now, I think about most New York delis, and the bread's usually lackluster. It's really, the rye bread is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
So I go to a place like I think of a Zingerman's in the Midwest, right? There they got the double crusted rye bread, so the rye kind of steals the show. But then their sandwiches, sometimes they put on like lettuce and tomato, and like, what's going on here? This is too much. And they do a classic, but I haven't had that perfect version of my deli sandwich in a long time. Everyone's got like the things that they do really well and the things that aren't as strong at the different delis. And so I do think there's room for innovation, because it's really hard to get that perfect hand-sliced pastrami, to get the right ratio of mustard onto the meat, to get the right bread, and to have the whole experience with the crunchy pickle and to create that, it requires such
almost precision.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great word. And so I do think there's room for it, and I think it's really hard, and it's so difficult to ever please anyone, because if they come from a barn and bagel deli experience and then they come to a New York style, it's not going to meet their needs. And so I do think the only way to move the deli forward is to be innovating these kinds of sandwiches. And so I'm so curious, like, how you think about this.
Yeah, and a lot of things are really similar too. Like if you think that your Reuben lacks innovation or flavor, like sauerkraut is also kimchi. Like you can swap it out and it doesn't, and it creates a way more interesting sandwich potentially. Like you get a little bit of heat, you get a different type of fermented flavor, you get a different texture, but still Reuben. Like it still has the same elements of it. You can change out cheeses. I used to be very anti-mayo because I'm like Jewish. I'm not a mayo person. And now we use so much mayo at Edith's. We have different flavored mayos. Like we have a giant smoker. We'll smoke things that aren't normally smoked. We'll use I don't know if it's like a matzo ball soup, or I don't know, it's not a sandwich, but we'll use like a smoked chicken broth. I don't know, you can add different elements to dishes, I feel like, so easily just by being like, oh, what is this similar to? Oh, let me try swapping it. Or if you don't normally toast your bread, toast your bread. It adds like a different layer of dynamic,
and texture.
Yeah.
What this is making me think about two things. One is a few months ago I was at Lair House in Boston, which is this restaurant in Boston that's a house of learning, but they are known for a beet Reuben.
Oh, cool.
And it is, people told me it was so good, and I was like, okay, it's like, on the surface, I will tell you, I had a skepticism about it. They did it right. It's smoky, it's flavorful, it's the texture is fantastic.
That's cool.
That to me is a great example of an innovation that could, it was done well with thoughtfulness. And they're a vegetarian and dairy restaurant, so they're not going to have any meat. So they sort of wanted to find something like that, and it worked. Right?
How did they prepare the beets?
I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they do some sort of pickling and then smoking of them. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I didn't get that when I was at Lair House.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed to have missed it. I'll say I actually feel uncomfortable with the Reuben because I grew up in a more traditionally kosher household, and when we'd go to a kosher deli, so the Reuben was something that
cheese and meat.
Exactly. Yeah. So even though I'll go to now Katz's and everything, I'm uncomfortable with the Reuben experience. It doesn't really speak to me, but I do want to get some of those elements. I want to get the crunch. I want to get more texture. I want to get more flavors, and I do feel like you already putting pickles beside the like pickled items like a kraut or putting the pickles somehow or some kind of pickled thing onto the sandwich, it can give it both crunch, texture, all those things. So I see the direction that it's going, and I like it.
All right. I hope we answered your question, Michael.
Wait. Just very quickly,
Okay.
quickly, just tell us, what's a sandwich creation that you're most proud of?
Good point. Yeah.
The sandwich I'm really proud of our proteins because we make them all ourselves, which is a real labor of love, but deli turkey normally freaks me out. So I was like, we have to do this better. And so I'm really proud of our proteins in general. I'm really proud of, I would say, our Sephardi wrap. It's like our best-selling breakfast sandwich.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, it's our breakfast wrap. We have two types of breakfast sandwiches at Edith. We do them on bagels. And then we also have our breakfast wraps. They're on malawa, which is a Yemenite Jewish bread. They're flaky. They're very similar to a scallion pancake without the scallions, if you need a visual reference. And we do the Sephardi wrap, and we call it the Sephardi wrap because it's kind of an ode to Sephardic food. And malawach is actually Mizrahi. We make a chicken sausage in-house that's Portuguese in style. I'm going to butcher it, but it's called an alhira sausage. And when Jews were fleeing Spain during the Spanish Inquisition, a lot of them fled to Portugal. And there's a story about a lot of Jews hiding and learning how to be butchers, as you know, we used to and continue to still be in a lot of different trades. And that was like a very common way to make a fresh start. And Jewish butchers wouldn't butcher pork. They would butcher chickens. And we kind of thought, or I thought that was like a really cool story. And one that we could kind of tell through food in like a little bit of a cheeky way. So we turned it into a breakfast sandwich. Yeah, it's our #1 best-selling sandwich. That and our bacon, egg, and cheese latke, which I guess I'm also proud of because that's my it's like my love letter to New York. But yeah, the Sephardi breakfast wrap tells a really interesting story of Jewish food and like the Jewish people through food. It has pickled Fresno chili peppers on top. Harissa aioli, so it's kind of got this like a little citrusy element because we actually put preserved lemon in the harissa aioli, but yeah, it's a really unique one, and listening to so many people come in and order it is a really cool experience, just to be like, wow, it's something that I could have never like had growing up, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm proud to share the story with people today, so, and it's really good.
Yeah, well, I like that you're not only thinking about flavor and texture and all of these pieces, you're also thinking of the storytelling piece and expanding beyond just that Eastern and Central European origin, which is really cool.
And I'd imagine you're doing a fair amount of education along the way. Like people ask questions like, why is this called this? What is malawach? You know, and your folks have to explain some of that. So
yeah, it's cool. It's a really like non-pushy way to share a little bit of our story. And like, there's no better way to do that than through food. And yeah, food has always been a great vehicle for storytelling. I mean, you guys know. So, but yeah, it's been really, really cool. So proud of that for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Michael in St. Paul, hopefully someone answers your question, and hopefully we'll get a chance to. We'll have a.
If you're bored, go get malawach and make some scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on answering some of the different versions of that question. Over future conversations
And start
as well.
using mayo.
Okay, so this is one that came in from Daniela in DC. This next question, and I feel like, being a chef in New York, you'll have thoughts on it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I know Liz and I think about this a lot.
I have thoughts about most things in general.
Okay,
Nice.
so what is the difference between Morton's kosher salt and Diamond Crystal and coarse sea salt, and when do you use which?
Oh, don't ask me. This one I like have no skin in the game on because I don't know. I'm not a chef.
What do you use at the restaurant?
Well, we use Diamond Crystal salt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
We thought you might say that.
Yeah.
I think just to set the stage for those who aren't really, in the debates is, kosher salt is so often used in the restaurant industry. It's used in pickling and all of these things. And the two biggest brands, Morton's and Diamond Crystal, they are just so different in their approaches and philosophies. And
approaches and philosophies.
I mean,
Well, I'm from Chicago. Like, we would drive into the city past the giant Morton salt factory. So
Wow.
you're really putting me on blast for this because I'm a little bit of a traitor. But we use Diamond Crystal.
Yeah. Well, I think those who kind of know tend to love Diamond Crystal, but I feel like Morton's is much more ubiquitous. And so when we worked on our cookbook, we put kosher salt, as an ingredient. And one of my big regrets is that we didn't specify. We did say in the beginning that we prefer Diamond Crystal, but in each recipe to say Diamond Crystal.
Because who's going to read the reference information in the beginning?
So the reason this matters is a few things. One is, so kosher salt, of course, being a coarser salt. You might know it as the one that Salt Bae uses, or all the chefs who are, sprinkling salt on things. It has that coarseness to it. We use it when we pickle because it's non-iodized. We like that element of it. It is, but I would say Diamond Crystal is just it has like a hollow center. It's less dense. So Morton's is saltier, like by volume, And so when we give a recipe and it's not by weight, but it's by volume, so a tablespoon of kosher salt, which most American recipes do, you are then going to have a much saltier experience if you use Morton's kosher salt.
So we tend to be on team Diamond Crystal because we feel like we have more control over the saltiness because those Morton's crystals are thicker and bigger and chunkier. Now, there is in this question also coarse sea salt. And coarse sea salt to me is the densest and the most coarse of them all. I know I've definitely used recipes with meat, tenderizing meat or pickling where they have wanted specifically the coarser salt. I've made kimchi, and some of the recipes that I've learned with kimchi are like you have to use a more dense crystal, not the diamond crystal. So I would say the answer to your question about like when do you use both is like some of it is about developing a practice and knowing your salt, right? So I use diamond crystal at home, and my partner uses, fine sea salt. And I find it to be, I'm not comfortable. I tend to oversalt things with that as well because it's looser. It's very fine.
Yeah.
And I tend to just like toss in my salt thinking that it's diamond crystal, but it's not. It really is, it's a finer salt. And so we have both salts in our house.
Yeah. I'm
one side of the toaster oven or the other.
Oh,
Which side are you on?
I've only ever used diamond crystal salt, except for when at Edith's we use powdered salt for our tatkes.
Ooh.
Because it is the finest and it sticks the best.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I'm really particular about that.
Yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
do enjoy a powdered salt, and one of the best things that ever, best salts was someone, I forgot who it was making this powdered salt and bay leaf combo, and to that is just...
Oh, that sounds great.
Can anyone explain what powdered salt is?
No.
To our
it's just
listener?
like
It's just
ultra fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally is like a powder, but like if you make French fries at home, sometimes depending on when you take something out of the fryer, if it's not super hot or like you don't hit it with salt right away,
the salt
like it
doesn't stick.
It won't stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like a powdered sugar, which is mixed with cornstarch. It's more just like
No, it's just
pure
salt.
salt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a little bit different than the powdered sugar experience. So one of the most stressful things I've ever experienced is having to cook for a lot of people in a kitchen that is only table salt. I'm too far gone. It's been too many years of cooking with a kosher salt, so that's very overwhelming to me. Morton's, though, I do remember when there was a diamond crystal shortage during the pandemic, it was really hard to get, and the Morton salt was really what you could find. I feel like David's Crystals is another one you find in the supermarket that's kind of just also, it's basically, I think it's
Very
Morton's
coarse.
in different packaging.
Yeah, I think that's
and
right.
I really don't know how to cook with it well. And pickling, really, it stresses me out because when you shake the salt in the jar, or if you're making a small batch, it takes a long time to dissolve. It's more work. You have to do a more vigorous shake. And so it's just a little bit off. So I would just say to answer Daniela, I would just ignore Morton's altogether.
Wow.
Just like go all in diamond crystal. Get the vintage box. Don't get the new box. It is very confusing.
We were wondering when the hot take was going to come. I was waiting for that.
I also don't think like really anybody
Watch out, Morton's.
in restaurants. I don't know anybody that actually uses it. It's more of like for the home cook, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the prosumer approach would be the diamond crystal, but the new box says salt flakes in a particular way that it confuses people. They think it's more like
Smart.
The diamond
they
crystal
think it's
box?
more like
Flake salt.
like a flaky salt,
Like a finishing salt.
but it's actually it's just because the way that it's shaped, it's almost like this. It's actually very beautiful. It's almost like a pure, like a.
If
it's
I
like
was
a
them,
cube
I
of
would
some
do
kind.
that too. I feel
Yeah.
like we need to try to gain market share. Let's try this.
I actually would like to know more about Morton's market share because they really are ubiquitous. So who's using it? But it's for another episode.
We'll have to bring a
We
full
do have a
Get on
better
the show.
logo, though.
Yeah,
Better
it's
logo.
cute. It's very cute. All right, folks, we've got one more question. It's kind of a doozy. I'm like, why did we
Leave this for last.
Why we leave this for last? Why are we even answering this many difficult questions in one episode? Okay. Why is Jewish food so unhealthy? From Hadass in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, can we just break it down a little?
Great. Okay, we have a lot to say.
I think that Hadass means to ask specifically because the reputation
What
is
is
that
healthy?
Eastern European. Well, I think I was going to say what is Jewish. I think that
what's Jewish food?
By Jewish
Like, what
food,
is healthy?
I
Right.
suspect she's referring to what is considered to be the unhealthy cuisine, which would be the Eastern European, Central European, Ashkenazi Jewish food, or the foods of the deli, for example. So I think that's. I just want. Do we all agree that that's probably what she's asking? Okay.
Fair enough.
So what is
Probably.
healthy?
She's definitely not talking about hummus.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Debatable.
these days.
But she's talking about pastrami sandwiches. She's talking about brisket. She's talking about matzo ball
Yeah, because
soup.
the shtetl was cold.
Okay, all right. So here's
Not in the summertime.
Here's the rant of Liz and Jeffrey on this topic. We all know that the foods we eat now that are these Jewish foods, these foods are, when do we eat them? We eat them primarily on the holidays. We eat them on special occasions. And what are holiday and special occasion foods? They are the richest foods. They are the fattiest foods. They are the foods that you eat for celebrations. They are not your daily foods. They are the foods that you're preparing for your Passover table where you're roasting a big brisket, right? They're the foods that you go out to the Jewish deli. So I just think part of this is that the foods that we associate, or maybe that Hadass is associating with Jewish foods, are not everyday foods. And they are inherently less healthy as the non-everyday foods.
I'll be honest, and I'm really grateful for this question, but we get this question so often, and I'm so annoyed at this because it speaks to our misunderstanding of what this cuisine actually is, right? It speaks to the Americanized version of this. Most of what people think of is unhealthy is actually the Americanized version of the Eastern European shtetl foods. What did people eat in the shtetl? Probably, what was the most common snack? I mean, I don't know if it was the most common, but a common snack reading through Yiddish literature is a radish and a little bit of schmaltz on it,
Delicious.
Did a hot pastrami sandwich on rye exist in the old country? No.
No.
It's a modern invention. What did all the immigrants who came to New York, came to the Lower East Side, the great book by Hassia Diner, Hungering for America, it says, in America, we can eat meat every day. We can eat meat 3 times a day. We can have challah every day. These are foods that, if you did have pastrami, you most likely lived in Romania. You had, a cold, cured meat made from goose, likely, maybe lamb if you were in the Jewish community. You had that once in a while on a little charcuterie board. I mean, maybe it wasn't a charcuterie board, but you had,
Maybe not a charcuterie board.
you had it, served to you on a special occasion, like
Yes.
you mentioned. The idea of eating a giant sandwich that you have to unlock your jaw to eat. This was a celebration of American excess. I'm thinking, Liz, the other day you made that really rich dairy noodle kugel.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
Oh gosh,
okay,
I have a story about that.
which is like
It's
sour.
like my favorite.
Yeah, they're amazing, but it's sour cream, butter, it's cottage cheese, farmer's
fat.
cheese.
No, I called him and I was like, Jeffrey, I just spent $100 on noodle kugel ingredients because it was like
That was like me
So
in my
much
freshman year
dairy.
of college,
Yeah.
trying to make it for my first Jewish friend for my first friend who I was her first Jewish friend. And she took one bite and she was like, "Is this sugary pasta?"
and you were like,
And yes,
it's delicious.
yes, it is.
It's
With a lot of
delicious.
dairy too. You didn't mention the dairy.
Yes, and like now I'm poor. So
Yeah, but this is the American way. So when we actually talk about this, why is Jewish food so unhealthy, or why is Ashkenazi Jewish food so unhealthy, we're actually talking about really why is American culture so unhealthy, or why did we abandon some of these things? Almost every dish would have been eaten with something fermented. The bread you ate would have been made from a sour starter. You'd have a lacto-fermented, live-cultured pickle or sauerkraut with most meals. You were eating mostly vegetables through the last couple of hundred years in the region because meat was so expensive. Some of the reason was because it was taxed, kosher meat. I think we just need to get over this. Like, I grew up thinking that these foods were, because of my family's culture and background, I was destined to a life of bad digestion. Like, IBS was my future. And what I feel like I have since learned, and I learned this when I worked on after college, I moved on to a Jewish organic farm called Adama, and I learned how to make live cultured foods. I was making goat dairy. We were making yogurts. I was eating and I had bacteria. My microbiome was so strong. And this is not what you get in the deli. The deli, you get the greatest hits, the fatty foods, the wintry foods, because it is summer in the shtetl sometimes in the summertime.
it happens.
And there are and there's fresh produce. There's you're eating amazing berries. There's wild mushrooms. Like we have a sliver of what is available today. So as a representation. So that's my little rant. But I just feel like we get the question a lot. But we just need to think beyond that.
We need to change the story.
Yeah,
We
it's
need
a
to
very
change the story.
distilled down version of like the most profitable. Like it's just what everybody thinks of now because it's what sells or what this has evolved into being. But even like the delicatessen itself had a lot more than just like giant sandwiches.
Right.
I mean, it had snacks, it had a whole butcher counter. I mean, the delicatessen itself has evolved in quite a unique direction. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that said, the thing that bothers me more than anything is lean pastrami. Because it's like, if you're going to do it, you're going to get it, you get the flavor, you enjoy it. Don't get a lean pastrami. Don't have an unsatisfactory experience if you're going to have these flavorful, rich foods. I love the deli and its fattiness. I love, frying latkes and having my hair smell like fried oil for, days. That's also part of it. That's the flavor, so we can appreciate that. But I just don't want to I don't want to water it down so much that the foods we eat are trying to recreate the deli or these rich foods, but then we do them poorly. Let's just have them on special occasions and. I don't know. That's sort of my perspective.
Yeah.
On it. Okay, Hadass, thanks for your thank you for a question that was had a lot of fodder for a conversation.
Yeah,
we did it. We made it to our final stage. We're sliding into the vinyl seats at the deli, so each of us get the chance to kvel or kvetch about foods we've been thinking about, or we get to share something that we've made or that we want the other to try.
Yeah.
So Liz. What do you got?
I brought a small gift for all of you. Earlier today, I was at a Jewish children's cooking activity in East Williamsburg, because that's what I'm up to on Sunday mornings. Have kids, guys. That's what you're going to be doing. So we were there. We were doing this kids activity. And at the entrance, there's name tags and stuff and welcome. And next to the name tag station is a basket of buttons. And, sort of Jewish-inspired buttons. Shout out to the neighborhood, the organization that was hosting this event with Lab Shul. So that was awesome. Thank you, the neighborhood and Lab Shul. And I asked around, I'm like, who made these buttons? Because clearly they weren't, off the shelf. And it turned out that someone from the neighborhood had made the buttons. And I talked to them a little bit about it. And I was very intrigued by these buttons. They are Dr. Brown's soda buttons.
Oh my gosh, those are so cool.
What is Dr. Brown's?
Okay, so Dr. Brown's iconic Jewish deli soda.
The best.
Brand and many flavors. And they have a really vintage looking can. So great. Do you serve Dr. Brown's at Edith?
We do. We have all the flavors.
All the flavors.
Including root beer. Very good root beer.
The root beer's excellent.
Excellent.
That was one of my that when I outgrew the cream soda, and I went to root beer before I made my.
You outgrew cream soda.
Oh yeah.
How is that possible?
I do not like cream soda.
What?
Cream soda is a horrible drink.
That was like a starter soda for me.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
it was so sick. I used to mix it with orange.
Well,
yeah.
Oof. Wow.
All right, we'll talk more about that another time. So these are so cute. And one of the things I was really interested in, so the two flavors that there were pins of were the most iconic, which is the black cherry. Everybody loves black cherry.
Is more iconic than celery?
Celery. Okay, I'm getting to
The
celery.
celery,
I'm getting to celery.
Is the best.
Okay, guys, I'm getting to celery, okay? Just hold your horses. There was also a diet cream soda.
No, the
pin.
diet cream
cream
so
soda.
good.
Okay.
I was
All
curious
the
about
diet
that.
flavors are really
Because
good.
the really pale ones are always the diets.
It's the only diet soda I drink.
So first of all, which one would you like? You can have either
I guess
one.
Black cherry.
I'll make.
Black
Yeah,
cherry,
I was
yeah.
like, I'll go
Your
for
diet
the
cream soda.
Diet cream soda.
Also, the blue is diet cream soda and the pink is black cherry. I don't know. But I don't know why the neighborhood had to gender these sodas, but whatever. Okay, so then I approached the person who made the pins and I said, tell me about why you chose these flavors.
Yeah.
And they were like, we were working with the designer and these were their favorite flavors or whatever. And I was like, talk to me about celery. Why isn't there a celery? And what they said is that they knew how controversial celery was.
What's controversial about it?
That people
don't like
either love it or they hate it, and they have very strong feelings. And they specifically did not want to make a celery pin thinking it would either be like the first to go or people would not take them. Like we didn't know. It was too risky if we're only making two to make a celery pin. And I thought that was hilarious. And
That's
a bit astute, maybe.
Wait.
So
And I just think for those who do not know, Celery is the celery seed soda.
okay, but when you say it like that, it sounds polarizing.
That is also
it is polarizing.
incredible. It is incredible.
But so to all of we have about 60 people that work at Edith's now.
wow.
Not one of them has tried celery soda until they came to work. I swear. Once I describe it as the ancestor beverage of ginger ale, they're like,
Wow.
it puts a different like mental framework there.
The
And they're like,
ancestor beverage of ginger ale.
I don't know if that's true, but
Damn.
in my mind it's true because it feels like it would be true. And then I stand on it and I make it true. And I think every single person that has tried it, knowing that beforehand, likes it. I think if you're like, this is soda that tastes like celery, then when you drink it, you're like, oh, this is like a sweet vegetal flavor. But if you're like, oh, this is like a ginger ale cousin of ginger ale, then you think of it different and you're like, oh, this is delicious now.
Okay, so since we are on this topic, mine is relevant here, and we can continue this conversation
Okay, let's see
over
it.
what I brought. Okay.
Oh, I didn't bring gifts for
No, we didn't tell you to. We didn't tell
Okay,
you
so
to.
I don't have
You have this one
I don't have
too
a
if you
fetch
want.
this time, but
I
I
do
wanted to bring
want
and Liz, you know, and we've made a lot of soda flavors and things together
We
over the
have.
years. So I brought a soda that was one of my favorites that I had made recently, and I brought something for us to try.
Ooh, look at those Dixie cups.
So I brought a lemon olive soda,
Oh, olive soda. Okay.
and I brought some seltzer for us to try.
This is so exciting.
And I even brought a little spoon to stir it.
I expect nothing less from you, honestly.
And I brought a little wooden spoon, but we can use the back of it.
It's like what's the difference between a soda and a shrub?
So a shrub, you want to...
It's fermented in
There's
some
usually
way.
vinegar, and it's
Okay, a little vinegar
fermenting, and it's got a
component.
little bit more of this acid here. So this is really just inspired by, and this is another dish of mine. My uncle's moved to Madrid, so I go to Spain. So this is a soda that I've encountered just variations of, and so I wanted to explore. And I always have to keep my brines because I'm a pickler, and so I have olive brine always in the fridge. So I thought we should try it.
Let's do it.
Oh, I'm excited.
I am.
L'chaim. Sorry, Liz. It kind of tastes like Amaro-y. Like it could be like a digestive.
Kind of savory digestive. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Talk to me about where the source of the lemon is.
So it's both lemon juice and lemon peel.
You taste the lemon peel because it's super floral.
Yeah. Yeah. I had no recipe. I just played.
Yeah.
I played. So one of my favorite things to do is make a pickle soda just with pickle brine.
Yep.
And it's really nice. And
Have you made the viral pickle lemonade?
You know,
Gatorade? Lemonade?
I
Gatorade.
I have not. I kind of stay away from some of the
You don't strike me as a viral recipe.
the
guy.
viral trend guy. But basically, I just I figured I had something that gave me the feeling of this, and I figured it just would be.
It just makes me want to drink it like on one of those beautiful days, sitting outside somewhere, just like relaxing, like not a care in the world, like that's what it makes me think of, just like feeling good.
Well, so the soda, though, I will say, thinking about Dr. Brown's, I've been very inspired. So I like to always be playful and think of new soda creations and soda flavors. And this was one, thinking about bringing in these Sephardic elements or Mizrahi elements, or these non-Eastern European ones to your deli. I always think about what would the next generation of Dr. Brown's sodas be, and how can we continue to be playful and also resourceful with the things we have left over, which is I often have lemon and lemon peels, and I often have brines as well. And so to me, I actually thought this was refreshing. So it sounds like it maybe didn't hit for you, Liz.
I feel I don't love the olive brine that you specifically used. Like I don't love that olive brine. So I think I could see I like the olive lemon combo, but this particular olive brine I don't love it. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I think I would like to try it again with a different type of olive brine. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I
But,
can't
yeah.
drink pickle brine. So that's just like my thing. I think that to your point, some of those like more briny or vinegary notes like could play really well in a soda because I love to use like pomegranate molasses, and that's like a very, I don't know. I feel like those flavors do complement each other, and I would love to see a new appreciation for celery soda, because I see a lot of content now about ginger ale and how people like joke. They're like, oh, if I'm drinking ginger ale, I'm like healthy. And I'm like, well, you can drink celery and be healthy. I tell everybody at work, I'm like, if you're hungover, drink that.
And I can't believe we both had soda highlights. Folks, we hope that you will ask us your questions. Send emails to podcast@gefilteria.com, or you can DM us on Instagram, Gefilteria. Or the best way to reach us with your questions is to fill out the form in this episode description. This show was produced by Felicia Reich, who, it's true, is from Florida.
Thank you to Heeb Media, an independent media nonprofit producing original web series, podcasts, and live events that showcase the best of today's subversive Jewish culture. Check out their membership if you want to support independent Jewish media now. And tell people about the show. It's the best way for us to grow and share the clips that are up at the Heeb Media and Gefilteria Instagrams.
Take our answers out into your life and bring us back the leftovers.
This has been a Heeb Media podcast.